During the events of Star Rail Fest, Ashvale discovered what the happiness surgery truly entails, implanting the flesh and blood of the abominations of abundance. Given the gravity of the situation, we decided to go to Graphia Academy and first launch an investigation into Full Wish. During the course of events, we unexpectedly crossed paths with Full Wish herself. Also a survivor of the Bloodstained Games, she openly joined the Phantasmoon Games and invited supplicants to travel to Seafeld City, where the winner would be decided in a televised debate. During our exchange with Full Wish, Himiko realized that Full Wish might be a masked fool. As a result, I asked Sparksy to investigate the tavern for leads, and through that, we identified Full Wish's ability, the happiness syntax. Evanescia and Yaoguang established a cooperation agreement. After Evanescia's attempt to assess Full Wish in her capacity as the arbitrator failed, they encountered Blade and his group and learned that the flesh implanted in the happiness surgery originated from Shuhu, an emanator of abundance. Himiko and I went to the TV station to take part in the debate and met up with Sunday and Ashvale, who had arrived ahead of us. However, the debate turned out to be a carefully orchestrated trap. In full view of the public, all those who had undergone the surgery transformed into terrifying monsters. And Full Wish framed both the IPC and the Astral Express as the masterminds behind it all. When the disaster erupted, Evanescia willingly violated a forbidden taboo and revealed the real purpose of the Phantasmoon Games: to suppress the terrifying entity slumbering within Planarcadia. Through this act, she unlocked the original power of the ambrosial arbor within herself and intervened in the unfolding situation. At the same time, Silverwolf, entrusted by Pearl, set out to investigate the anomalous signal responsible for the monster's emergence, only to be obstructed by Mr. Meanie. As the force backing Full Wish, he wields tremendous power, powerful enough to interfere with the Stellaron Hunter's script. Meanwhile, Full Wish continued to livestream our movements in the TV tower, distorting the truth by every possible means. Drawing upon the wish power of 200,000 victims, she manifested the Meanie Phantasmoon in an attempt to defeat us individually. Thankfully, Silverwolf regained the power of the Ether cartridge, level 999, and dealt with it before it was too late. After overcoming every obstacle in our path, we reached the top of the TV tower and confronted Full Wish head-on. Drawing on the people's wish power, she briefly held the upper hand. Ultimately, I used the Stellaron within me to bear that wish power, thereby stepping onto the path of elation and defeating her once and for all. Even so, those who had undergone the surgery did not recover. At Blade's proposal, everyone joined forces to concentrate all of Shuhu's flesh within his body, freeing the victims from the influence of the happiness surgery. Just when I thought the crisis was over, Evanescia requested that I warn the creator of the world in canvas. According to her, Asad Pramod, the Lord Ravager who once attempted to eliminate Planarcadia, has returned again.
Seafeld City has been severely affected by the incident. Citizens are advised to remain patient and await assistance. Moving on to our...
You're back! The incident that happened at Full Wish TV is causing a huge stir. Come watch the news!
Hello, everyone! Welcome to our brand new segment, the Phantasmoon Brief. I'm your host, Poofy!
Hi, everyone! This is your old friend, Snowy!
Well then, as the Phantasmoon Games reach a boiling point, And for reasons that need no explanation, we are now joining Duo Mention TV to bring you live coverage of the latest and most critical news updates.
Yes, we are! And after the director of Foolish TV and sponsor of the Research Society of Happy Smiles, Foolish announced that she was joining the Phantom Moon Games! That terrifying tragedy of 15 years ago once again swept through the psionic game!
The supplicant debate, slated to take place at the Seafeld TV tower, was cut short when out-of-control Imaginée known as Joy Ascendants appeared suddenly and launched an attack. This Imagenesis plague centered on Seafeld City spread rapidly. Even Foolish herself turned into a monster atop the Seafeld TV tower.
As of the latest reports, nearly 200,000 human and Imaginée inhabitants across Planarcadia have been affected by the plague. Countless individuals are injured or missing, and total losses are estimated to have reached 8.6 billion credits. And in a chilling echo of the Bloodstained Games 15 years ago, footage left behind by Foolish points to the disaster as the work of supplicants from beyond the sky.
She identified the culprits as the famed cosmic hero, the Trailblazer of the Astral Express, and the wanted criminal, Stellaron Hunter Blade, claiming they were responsible for the tragedy.
But a spokesperson for the Department of Aberration Defense said the disaster was planned and executed by Foolish herself through her organization, the Research Society of Happy Smiles. They added that the investigation will continue and the organization will be shut down.
Oh, how familiar that sounds. 15 years ago, they made the same excuses. What is the real story behind this? The Phantom Moon Brief will continue to keep you updated.
Over 500 years ago, a prophet made a prediction. In year 1999, a terrifying devil will descend from the sky. Will this prophecy come true? Can Planarcadia safely make it through this crucial year? We will have to wait and see. Shame on them. How can they just say things like that on TV when it's not even confirmed? And the internet is flooded with fake news about you too. Also, those two hosts, weren't they from Foolish TV? They were spreading nasty stories about you on the news before. And now look, they've immediately jumped ship after what happened to Foolish. Ever since coming to Planarcadia, nothing surprises me anymore. I'm happy you made it back safely, but somehow, you just don't seem quite the same. Oh no. You're trying to grow up and leave me behind. Don't tell me you're becoming the next Don Hung. No! Is this what it takes to become a hero? I am so cute and lovely. What's the problem with that? Oh, right. Tell me about what happened at the TV tower. I've heard Don Hung and Sunday's side of the story, but I haven't heard yours yet. So, Foolish had people undergo the happiness surgery to implant Shuhu's flesh into their bodies, and that ended up causing this disaster? And you guys stopped the mutation from spreading, but all you managed to do was to temporarily seal Shuhu's flesh inside Blade? And then you mentioned that Nessia, the one we met at Star Rail Fest, is actually the Phantom Moon Games arbitrator? No wonder she could draw a mask for you. And she also asked you to go deep into the world in Canvas to warn, who was it again? Who is that?
Yes, Graphia, Himiko's ancestor. She's an artist from 1,000 years ago.
Himiko's ancestor? She she still alive? Wait, that's not even the most important part. Nessia asked you to warn Grathia that the Lord Ravager, Asat Pramod, is back? Oh, why does the Express have such bad luck? By this point, whenever we go on vacation, I'm always ready to deal with random problems. But running into another Lord Ravager while on vacation? This is way over the line. A Lord Ravager, Evanessia's request, Shuhu's flesh and Blade's body, and the unfinished Phantasmoon Moon games. Suddenly, there are so many things to deal with. It feels like we're juggling a bunch of eggs all at once. One slip, and it's all gonna go splat. Are you okay? I shouldn't have asked so many questions. Didn't mean to stress you out or make you worried. I'm gonna go take a minute and collect myself.
So many things to deal with right now. Oh, what should I do next? Nah, I've had a long day. I should just get some rest.
Welt, she's tired. Let her sleep.
You're obviously tired. I never thought this vacation would become the prelude to yet another major war.
From our very first steps, trouble has always followed the Nameless. But this is way too much.
Look at you now. It takes me back to when I first got the Express running again. Aside from Pom Pom, I was the only crew member on board, constantly stretched thin and feeling out of my depth. All I could do was note every problem in the navigation log, one by one. A world's coordinates that needed an update. A glitch in the Express's warp system. The notes were as dense as the coordinates on the astral charts, leaving me completely overwhelmed. Back then, I never imagined the Astral Express would one day have to face a Lord Ravager. But strangely, now that the time has come again, I'm not panicking at all. Come to think of it, it's because of you. Because of all of you. Along the way, we have defeated 2 Lord Ravagers. The Nameless who guided me before I set out once told me, "Keep moving forward, and the obstacles that once felt impossible to conquer will soon be behind you. And along the way, you'll find companions who are just like you." I've seen you grow through the Phantasmoon Moon games. becoming someone others can trust and lean on. And I heard the declaration you made atop the tower. I'm truly proud of you. That's why I want to share a story from the past with you. A promise from 15 years ago. I promised someone that when the moon over my hometown was full again, I would go back to see her, to let her know I had made the most of this borrowed life and found companions I could trust with all my heart. I want to share this story with you all, the story of how my journey began. Because it's a long story, filled with many memories of my past. I'd also like to invite you all to the place where I repaired the Express and tell you everything bit by bit.
All right, it's a deal. When I return from the world in canvas, you can make us, let Shush make us some coffee. Then we'll settle in and listen to your story.
Speaking of the world in canvas, March told me about what Evanescia said to you. Evanessia's request was not made lightly, and she was worried for a reason. Silverwolf saw that Lord Ravager in action too. According to the records from the databank and the IPC's investigation, Asat Pramod's campaigns often span centuries, and the planets he targets all end up destroyed in freak accidents, leaving their surfaces covered in only smiling faces. 1,000 years ago, my ancestor Graphia created the world in canvas. If that was to resist Asat Pramod's invasion of Ahatopia, then could this disaster unleashed through the Phantasmoon games be the prelude to his next invasion? Good question. As for who in Planarcadia knows Graphia and the world in canvas best, it's probably Pearl. She was sent here by the IPC. She should have some clues to guide us in the right direction. By the way, General Yao Guang is here. She says she wants to talk to you in private. I'm not sure if she comes with good news or bad news. She brought a little gift from the Cienjo, though. mung bean soda. Go talk to General Yao Guang then. Don't keep her waiting. After that, come to the party car and fill us in on your next move.
Nice to meet you, Ishvara. I always thought that the arbitrator, Evanessia, would step in and punish Fullwish for the disaster she caused. But, to my surprise, it was you who defeated Fullwish. In my capacity as an Arbiter General, I extend my deepest gratitude to you for halting the plague and sparing countless lives from suffering. What I am about to tell you is something Evanessia risked breaking the rules to share with me. Please keep it a secret. Not a word of this leaves the Express. Sealed within Ahatopia's core is Ouroboros, the Veracity. Wait, you've never heard of the Veracity before? Come to think of it, they must be unfamiliar to most people. They were supposed to be recorded in the list of arch-enemies as an author of calamity. They are an ancient god of desire and consumption, an eon that evolved from a Leviathan. But they disappeared so long ago that the Cienjo Alliance never witnessed any of their deeds, and they were never recognized as an author of calamity. Well, they need no such title anyway. Beast of Calamity, Star Devourer, Void Maw. Just hearing these names, one can imagine what kind of monstrosity they were. A vast, writhing form whose slightest movement could crush entire planets, before swallowing what remained into an insatiable abyss. Rumor has it, they were last seen during the era of the Swarm disaster. They were hardly there to aid the Swarm, but rather to attend a cosmic-level feast, in which the Swarm served merely as appetizers, and the planets they passed were devoured as the main course. No one expected them to be here of all places, sealed away on this very planet, after vanishing for years. The true situation remains unknown, but with this information we can understand why Asat Pramod set his sights on this world. Aren't you a little afraid, facing a huge disaster like this? Interesting. You wouldn't flinch even if a star fell upon you. A true Ishvara. Fortune follows when fate hits its lowest ebb. Every crisis comes with an opportunity. Now that we know a force capable of devouring stars is deep in slumber at this planet's core, perhaps we could make it devour the problem inside Blade's body. It might just be a risky path worth taking. Blade has agreed to my proposal and will venture into the world in canvas to seek out the Veracity. From what I've heard, you are going there as well. I cast a divination, and the hexagram shifted between the marsh and fire trigrams, yielding the judgment. Heaven and earth are separate and apart, but the work which they do is the same. In other words, though your paths may differ, they are destined to intersect. What miracle could cap off these games better than a finale that humbles a Lord Ravager? It will be a tribute to the elation. The shadow of the Lord Ravager looms, and from here on, everyone must carry their part of the burden. I will take my leave first.
Before I set out, I still want to say a few words to everyone. What are they all up to over there?
Oh, there you are. We were waiting for you. We're here to celebrate the Astral Express making it through another trial, of course. Pom-Pom's heard all about your latest adventure.
It's a modest celebration, but a meaningful one. You stopped Full Wish's scheme, and that is no small achievement. Regardless of what the people of Planarcadia or the media may say, we raise a glass to you.
Exactly. You knocked out the mastermind behind all those creepy whatever their name is. I didn't get to see it myself, but Don Hung described it for me. You killed it!
Your victory gave Blade a chance to free himself from Shuhu's flesh. Thank you.
With a Lord Ravager looming on the horizon, everyone will soon be heading off on their own missions. Before that, it felt right to have a small gathering like this.
Now, let's make a toast. Here's to everyone who fights to protect this Arcadia. And here's to all of us. The Lord Ravager can throw whatever he wants at us, but I know the Astral Express will keep streaking across the stars.
All of you. Having you by my side is what gives me the courage to face the future. I'll carry this strength with me through the rest of this journey.
Cheers!
Did you need something? I need a break. I felt worn out ever since coming back from Seafeld TV Tower. Right now, it feels like I'm back in Oak Manor's banquet hall. At those parties, no matter how tired I was, I'd have to clutch my glass and smile, keeping myself calm. Mr. Yang insisted I should get a full day of sleep, but I didn't want to miss the chance to toast with you all. I should thank you for letting me embark on this journey.
There you are. March and I were talking about you. You, me, and March. The three of us.
Exactly. The power trio of this express.
this trip to Planarcadia is the first time we weren't necessarily working together toward a common goal. You dove into the Phantom Moon games. I crossed paths with that relentless old friend and foe again. As for March, well, she spent her time wandering and eating. Her perfect little vacation.
Wait, hold up. How come all I get is wandering and eating? I grabbed plenty of comics as well. I call it cultural exploration. With a little extra time for me to recharge, of course. Right?
Now that we're having this little break, it hit me that I might have neglected you and March.
Why are you suddenly acting like the adult here?
Blade has accepted General Yao Guang's proposal. Perhaps he has finally moved on from past grudges and that abundance curse, and is now ready to do something for himself. It's going to be a path fraught with danger, so I had hoped to accompany him for a bit longer, but he refused. From now on, I will turn my attention to this world. Mr. Yang and I have been asked by General Yao Guang to help with setting up some defensive formations.
I've got work to do too. Mr. Ashvale wanted someone to accompany him to the tavern to investigate clues about Asat Pramod. Yours truly figured she'd been resting long enough, and it was time to stretch her legs. So I volunteered. No problem. When you come back, you have to share everything you saw in the world in Canvas.
I heard from Sunday about how the televised debate went. We won this battle because of you. The streets were in chaos, traffic ground to a halt, and Wispay littered the ground. It was like a scene straight out of a disaster movie. When the televised debate began, a crowd outside the station gathered to protest the Astral Express and nearly broke through the barricades. But the moment the Joy Ascendants appeared, they scattered without a second thought. I guess people know deep down which is more dangerous, a made-up villain or an actual threat. But I am more concerned about you. I've seen the footage of your fight with Fullwish. When you returned to the top of the tower, an enormous surge of power seemed to erupt from you. It reminded me a lot of when I saved you at Herta Space Station. Did you tap into the power of the Stellaron? From what I can see, you're in pretty good shape right now. The Stellaron can be awakened by a wish, but its immense power always has a way of warping reality. As the wave of wish power surged toward you, it brought hope and blessings, but also dark intentions and malice. What might it do to the Stellaron? We have no idea. Be careful with this power you have, no matter how tempting it may seem.
Just in time. I've talked to Madame Pearl. She will handle all the arrangements for your passage, so you can enter the world in Canvas to find my ancestor Graphia. This is an important matter. Furthermore, your journey gives her the chance to uncover something she's been yearning to understand for years. The secret to Graphia's art of imagenesis. Once you've fully rested, you may make your way to the dock in Seafeld City. Madame Pearl has a special ship waiting for you there. It will take you to the border between this world and the world in Canvas, a place known as Inkford Hermitage. That's your final stop before entering the world in Canvas, A place to gather your supplies and rest up before you set out on the journey ahead. I know you'll have to go alone this time, but I don't think it'll be dangerous. After all, that realm was created by Graphia, my ancestor. The thought of it makes me feel calm, in a strange but comforting way. If you get to meet her, please give her my regards. Awaiting good news from you. Just in time. I've talked to Madame Pearl. She will handle all the arrangements for your passage, so you can enter the